Today, I want to be going over some 2026 LEGO Star Wars information and trying to speculate based off of some leaks we got a few days ago what sets we're actually going to see in 2026 and what the minifigure selections are going to look like in those sets. So first of all, let's go over some info that we already know that will help us kind of cover some ground. So first of all, the X-Wing and Vader's TIE Advance releasing in January. We already know those two sets, and we already know that out of all these minifigs that are set to have smart bricks included with them, the pilot Luke obviously is going to be in the X-Wing, the Darth Vader is obviously going to be in Vader's TIE Advance, but outside of that, we're not really sure which of these minifigs will go in each set, and what other sets we're going to be getting based on the information we know with these minifigs. So let's go ahead and make some assumptions, speculate, and see what sets could be likely based on the minifigs we know are already coming in 2026. Now, first of all, I think that the Farm Boy Luke and the Pilot Luke are probably both going to come in the X-Wing. You know, I'm not really sure why. I don't know if we've ever seen two Lukes in the same X-Wing set, but it just feels like they would fit, and I think I saw with that Farm Boy Luke minifig, it was mentioned he comes in the X-Wing, so it's kind of interesting because we know a Pilot Luke will go in the X-Wing. I don't know why a Farm Boy Luke is, but you know, let's just wait and see what happens there. That's not really anything anyone cares about. More importantly, it was said that there would be a training Luke minifig. So whether that's the minifig where he has that shield over his face and he's training in the Millennium Falcon, or if that's the Dagobah training Luke, makes a huge difference, because if it is not the Dagobah Luke, then I think it's actually kind of likely we will get a Yoda versus Palpatine duel set. And whether that means the big Coruscant playset or a smaller set with the smart brick functionality, maybe you can have Yoda jumping around and spinning and, you know, making giggle noises. I don't know, like Yoda like laughing maniacally at Palpatine while he duels. I don't know. I don't know what the smart brick function is actually going to be in a set like that, if that set is coming out, but if that Luke is a Dagobah Luke, then I think it's very likely that there'd be some sort of Dagobah set with Yoda and Luke in training, you know? It's very obvious, like that's probably a set that LEGO would do. Most of these sets are probably going to be original trilogy, very popular vehicles and scenes, because LEGO is kind of testing out the smart brick function with things that they know already sell well, I think is what's happening here. But what's interesting is when we get to the minifigs that we haven't yet discussed. And if Yoda and the training Luke are in a Dagobah set, that leaves the question, then what will Palpatine be in, right? You know, maybe he'll just be included in Vader's TIE Advance. That's not completely out of the picture. You know, that's a possibility, but what other set could he really be in if not that or a duel with Yoda? I honestly have no idea, but looking at the Han Solo and Greedo minifigs is where this gets interesting, because we could be getting a small playset with Han versus Greedo, the Mos Eisley Cantina, similar to the 2018 playset. That's what this really reminds me of. But, you know, a small playset with the smart brick functionality. You could have Han say a voice line or the blaster sound effect when he shoots first. All of that sounds really, really cool. But there's also a part of me that wonders if, you know, just the X-Wing and Vader's TIE Advanced are just going to have a ton of minifigs for each one, and that's reflected in the price. What if Luke's X-Wing comes with Pilot Luke, Farm Boy Luke, Han Solo, Chewbacca, and then the Vader's TIE Advanced comes with Vader, Greedo, and Palpatine? Like, that could be a pretty interesting thing going on there. You know, I'm not sure how likely it is. That's probably not going to happen, but that's also a possibility we have to consider for sure. But what's interesting is, through all the minifigs we've gone through and what sets they could mean for each one, Chewbacca is kind of left behind with an awkward kind of spot. You know, maybe he'd be in Luke's X-Wing, maybe he'll be in the Cantina set, because I guess Chewbacca was also in that Cantina scene. But yeah, like, it's really interesting to think about what kind of sets we could be seeing based off these minifigs that we already know are coming in 2026, and will have the smart brick functionality. So let me know in the comments down below your thoughts. What sets do you think we're going to get based on the smart bricks and all this info that we already have? Do you think we'll get that Palpatine versus Yoda Revenge of the Sith set finally, or do you think this means something completely different? Let me know in the comments below. Leave a like on today's video if you all did enjoy, and with that being said, I will see you all in the next video. Have an amazing day. Peace out.